On air in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Golf Summer Series. Welcome to the Ferrari Winter Street Stocks 2021 Golf Summer Series running of the Pepsi Showdown, a Holiday Winter Racing League 2022 Golf Summer Series Palm Summer League, the renamed Coke Zero Showdown, this year's Triple Winter Challenge, the return of the Palm Summer League. Tonight, we're at the Armory Digital Super Speedway. We're at the Daytona International Speedway, Bowman Gray Stadium, the Darlington Raceway, Pirates Motorsports Park, the summer's biggest race, the Firecracker 400, the summer's longest race, the Southern 500, and the return of the Madhouse Classic. World's best drivers are just about ready for what should be a good one here tonight. This is a race you definitely don't want to miss.
Say it with me!
Drivers, start
your
engine!
The wait, the anticipation, the excitement is finally over. As we're under green here in the Golf Summer Series, as we're officially under green here in the Palm Summer League, as the green flag is back in the air, the Madhouse Classic is back. Field 3 deep behind. They're pretty much racing like it's the final lap right now, even though just 3 laps in. Things are already heating up here tonight. This is insane. Right, nearly 3 wide off turn number 4, filled the wall as he nearly makes contact with Smith. Wow, if you want to talk about a bump and run, that's definitely a textbook bump and run from the 13th. But then Mathieu made contact off turn 4. Can they save it? Yes, they do. As Breams round the back up with Chase Smith as they make contact, and Smith moves off 4. Up the bump and run, he's going to force Madison up high. Oh no! Oh, we got trouble! Devin Payment, Richard Herman goes around in front of the pack. It's the big one here at Talladega. This is not going to end well on the inside as they make contact with Wilson and sends both of them back into the pack. It's all sound with a big trade touch. And HS goes over and over, barrel rolling in turns 3 and 4 as probably half the field is involved in this one. And oh my god, Voiles is on his roof, now on his side. Oh, John Fredrickson, Richard Herman, Dan Mattiello. What a heel drag here in the front straight away. Hill gets involved, Hernandez on his roof. So there's going to be a heel drag, Aiden Robinson involved. Oh, Owen Miles up to the inside. He's going to split the leaders 3 wide. Here comes Jimmy in the 48 on the inside. Looks like the leaders have caught up to the slow car, Matthew Hill, who's going to really swat on Matteo and Random J. And as that happens, here comes the 7 of Ryan Wilson. Reeves has the advantage on the outside, but Nixon's going to get a great run off turn number 2 and down the back straight away. 4 wide of his teammates off of 4, coming to 3 laps to go. Woodland back to the lead here at Darlington, 2 laps to go. This time by white flag in the air, only 1 lap to go. Who's going to win it? Next flag will end the race. Ooh, he's got a good run on the inside. They're going to be side by side for the lead for the final time. Here they come to the checkered flag. Oh my goodness. Side by side, coming to the line, Burnett wins! Who's gonna win? Oh my god! Coming to the line, oh my god! A photo finish to the line, oh man! As Kellen Baker will be your 2020 Golf Summer Series champion. As Ryan Wilson is your first ever Winter Street Stocks champion. Hoodlum 2002 is your 2021 Golf Summer Series champion. As Keisha Harrison is your 2021-22 Holiday Winter Racing League champion. Ryan Wilson is your 2022 Golf Summer Series champion. Brendan Beal is your 2023 Palm Summer League champion. What a finish here tonight. Man, what a race that was. We have witnessed an incredible season this summer, and it's all possible thanks to you. Random J Productions presents the Palm Summer League. Today we come to the Paris circuit just outside the iconic city for the running of the UPS Summer Special. And of course, this is the long-awaited milestone of the 100th channel race. After certainly a long and logistically expensive path to get here, 35 of racing's best drivers all lined up on pit road, just moments away from history. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Josh, your commentator for today's exciting race, and I just have to say, the fact that today is the 100th time I've been commentating these races is absolutely amazing. Over the past 4 years, we have of course been to many tracks located in many places, but this will mark just the 2nd time we've raced overseas and the 1st time we've raced in Europe. And what better place is there in Europe than the city known for its vast landmarks, history, romance, and beautiful lights that also happens to be this year's host of the Summer Games. And speaking of history, one driver that's looking to chase it this summer is the current points leader, Bubble Pop, coming off her third top 10 this summer. The driver of the 18 is looking to become the first ever channel rookie to win a championship. And with a win earlier this summer at Las Vegas, a track very similar to the one here today, she's definitely a driver to keep a close eye on today. Then there's the driver who's fresh off winning the summer's biggest race, that being Jordan Forbes in the 61. Forbes' Firecracker 400 win was just his second channel win, but it was big enough to move him up to second in the point standings, just 7 back from Bubble. This championship battle is in full swing, and with both drivers starting up front here today, this race will certainly have big point implications. And finally, there's a driver who knows a thing or two about winning international races, that being channel veteran Bradley Ream. In the former Golf Summer Series, Bradley was able to win at both the streets of Toronto as well as the flat oval of Mexico City. In addition to his 2 wins back in the States, Bradley has a chance to fight off the JetLag and become the first driver in channel history to win races in 4 different countries. But before all these questions and more get answered, let's first take a look at the starting lineup for today's very special 100th channel race. So on the pole is the 90 and Matthew Hill, and next to the defending series champion Brendan Beal in the 37. Row 2, 2-time channel champion Ryan Wilson, and next to him Caleb Rose in the 59. Row 3, current points leader Bubble Pop in the 18, and the 46 of Johnny Hernandez. Row 4, the Firecracker 400 winner Jordan Forbes, who of course came to this race second in the standings, and next to him former Golf Summer Series champion Anthony Hernandez in the 88. Row 5, Kyler Sustry, and former HWO champion Keyshawn Richardson, the 24. We got 2 rookies in row number 6, Riley Sperling, the 28, and the 57 of Jack Haas. We got 2 channel veterans in row number 7, the 84 of Jason Albert, and next to him the 6 of Bradley Ream. In row 8, we got Nick Sand, the 40, and next to him the 01 of Daniel Voiles. Row 9, Patrick Miller in the Paris 2024 car, and next to him the 1 of Alex Mullen. Row 10, Roberto Crown Jr. the 31, and next to him summer kickoff winner Jose Angel Gutierrez. We got 2 Dodges in row number 11, Lipsy in the 9, and Madison Chase in the 06. Row 12, Skylar Taylor in the 29, and next to them the winner from the Meadowlands, Ross McTrain in the 45. Row 13, the 97 of Nathan Stapleton, and Alex Santaval in the 99. We got another row of channel veterans in row number 14, Jordan Stout in the 11, and next to him Callan Baker, who was the first ever channel champion. Row 15, Dylan Matthews in the 49, and next to her, the 53 of Random J, who was just 1/1000th of a second shy of winning the Firecracker 400. Row 16, the 8 of Joe T, and next to him, the 17 of Dan Mattiello. Row 17, Brandon Carruthers in the 20, and next to him the 41 of Philip Torres. And finally, row number 18 is the 2 of Matthew Burnett. Taking a look at the track info for today's race, we're going to go 52 laps on this 1.5 mile long intermediate oval with 24 degrees of banking in the corners. And as for the weather here today in Paris, France, it's a beautiful 83 degrees Fahrenheit with 8 miles per hour towards the north. And of course, as mentioned multiple times, is the 100th channel race, and this track is very, very similar to the Atlanta Motor Speedway before 1997, as well as the Homestead Miami Speedway, where we raced at for the Spring Showdown in 2022. And now it's time to see who the number bot thinks is going to win today's race. And it thinks number 8, Joe T for Joe T Haas Racing, who will start 31st here today. And now, for the 100th time on this channel, it is time for the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Over the course of the 100 races on this channel, we've had only 8 drivers that have raced at every single one of them. And we're going to talk to one of them right now. Hey, Matt Fournette, Josh up in the booth, got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, you've been racing on this channel since the very beginning. What does this 100th race mean to you?
It's pretty special. I've been racing on this channel since the very beginning, and I got my first one in 2021, and it means a lot.
Alright, man, I know you're a owner-driver, single-car team. It's a long way to get over here in Paris. Hope you have a good one here today. Thanks for the loyalty on this you've shown.
Right on.
For the past 4 years in 99 races, I've said this exact phrase nearly every single time. But I'm going to say it for the 100th time here today. We're under green here at Paris. That time by the pole sitter Matthew Hill, wide lap number 1, but Ryan Wilson is fast approaching on the inside lane. Bubba being forced to the middle, being 3 wide briefly with Jordan Forbes and Rose. As the firecracker winner falls back on the inside, here's Wilson now side by side of Hill for the lead. After coming off turn 2. Oh, Joe T. Crunners go around off of 2, but they managed to save it and come back onto the track with no issues. As we, of course, have a replay. Oh, Richardson to the wall through turns 3 and 4. The ASWR champion continues to ride the wall through turns 3 and 4, losing a lot of ground, but finally backing off. But coming to lap number 3, Ryan Wilson takes the lead away from Hill. Man, what a weird lap number 2 to kick off the 100th race. We had 2 cars near a wreck off turn 2, but managed to save it, and another car wall ride through turns 3 and 4. But we still remain green. Continuing down the back straight with Bubble getting a strong run to the inside. He's going to go for the lead on Ryan Wilson to turns 3 and 4. As those two are going to be side by side. As off of 4, Bubba's going to clear Wilson for the lead. Oh, Random J, Matt in the wall off turn number 4. And this will bring the caution. Now he's got more trouble up front. The Skywood Taylor round to 29. Joe T, the 8 car, Jose Angel Gutierrez, and others. As we got a pretty sizable wreck here in the front stretch here in Paris. Dave Matteo's involved. Alex Santavallo, driver up in the point standings, involved in this as well. Looks like Santavallo, fortunately, doesn't have too much damage. You saw the smoking car, Skylar Taylor there in the 29. And there's the damage to Jose Angel Gutierrez, who is also up inside the top 10 in points for this race. Matt Fournette, we talked with him just now. He has damage. Random J with heavy damage to his front nose. And it looks like both Kellen Baker in the 21 and Philip Torres in the 41 also got damage from that as well. And of course, Torres Baker as well as the other damaged cars are going to head down pit road. Oh, Gutierrez rear ends the back bumper of Baker. And that's going to cause even more damage on Gutierrez. His car is now smoking as he comes into pit road. So that'll likely end Gutierrez's day. As that time by Bubba Pop in the 18 was your leader, followed by Ryan Wilson in the 48 and the 90 and Matthew Hill. As we're going to take a look at the instant replay to see what caused the first caution here today in Paris. So let's start with the Random J Matt Fournette incident. This happened going into turns 3 and 4. Both drivers were back in the back of the pack anyway since they started back there. They were 3 wide of Philip Torres, who was on the inside in the 41. So Random on the outside, Burnett in the middle. So it looks like Torres kind of shoved Burnett up the track, but then Kellen Baker comes down to Matt Fournette, send the 41 up the track into 2 into the 53, sending both Burnett and Random into the outside safer barrier. And as for the second wreck, this time happening towards the middle of the field, Skylar Taylor at this point is side by side with Bradley Reed in the 6. So Roberto Crown was all over the back bumper of Bradley, and then off of 4 gets into the 6 car, who then clips the 29 into the 84, sends both of them into the wall, with Taylor coming back onto the track right in front of Gutierrez, and it was just all on from there. With Jordan Stout, Dan Mattiello, Joe T having basically nowhere to go. Now let's take this from up above so you can see both wrecks in action. So in the back of the field, drivers were just all over the place, with Jordan Stout coming down on Baker, which caused that chain reaction, sending both Burnett and Random into the wall. And at the same time, there's that contact from Roberto Crown that sent Brad Ream and Taylor into the wall. And at that point, Taylor is ironically enough like a Beyblade spinning on a table, with drivers moving all around the track trying to avoid, and unfortunately some weren't quite lucky enough. Let's go on board Matt Fournette for, again, that first part of the caution. So it looks like Jordan's down the 11 car. The orange car came down first in front of Baker, which sent Burnett into Torres, and then Burnett back up to the wall in front of Random J, who just had the misfortune of being stuck in the outside lane. on board of Braden Carruthers. So again, this was that second part of the caution, the Skyward Taylor part of the wreck. So it's happened right in front of Carruthers. Does he avoid? Maybe got a little bit of damage, but Carruthers, for the most part, got through that unscathed. Definitely a great miss there for the channel veteran. On board with Skyward Taylor. So right there's that contact from Ream that sends Taylor into the wall and spinning right in front of the entire field. And finally, on board with Jose Angel for the third part of this rather long caution. So he's never even slowed down at all. I don't even know if his spotter was even talking to him at this point to tell him, hey, slow down, Baker was there. But regardless, that will end Jose Angel Gutierrez's day and definitely drop him out of the top 10 in the point standings. But anyways, we're already under caution here in Paris for the 100th channel race. Welcome back to the UPS Summer Special here in Paris, of course, for the 100th channel race. We're about to go back green after 2 accidents on lap number 3, with the first involving the 2 of Matthew Renette, the 53 of Random J, while the other much bigger one involves Skyward Taylor, Jose Angel Gutierrez, Jordan Stout, Dan Mattiel, among others. And currently, as of now, the 3 cars that are out of this race is Burnett, Taylor, and Gutierrez. Anyways, as for your current top 5, the current points leader of Bubble Pop is the race leader, followed by the 48 of Ryan Wilson, pole sitter Matthew Hill in the 90, Johnny Hernandez in the 46, and the 59 of Caleb Rose. Anyways, as the pace truck continues back down pit road, we're back under green here in Paris. And that's going to be a great launch for Ryan Wilson on the outside going into turn number 1 as he tries to move down in front of the 18, as Bubbles going to be side by side with Hernandez going into turn number 2. He started down the back sure just how slow the 53 of Random J was. He's definitely going to be a factor for these leaders as the rest of the race goes on. But here's Bubble once again side by side with Ryan off turn number 4 coming to lap number 9. And it looks like Bubble will retake the lead away from Wilson. In the 1, here's Matthew Hill now making it 3 wide for the lead briefly, with Bubble now forced to the middle. Johnny Hernandez also in the middle, and Ryan Wilson gets forced up high. Caleb Rose now way down on the racetrack, right on the rumble strips as he nearly makes contact with Hill down the back straight away. But those two managed to sort it out as we go into turn number 3. Hill once again 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. Hernandez and Wilson, with Wilson continuing to lose ground on the outside. But coming to lap number 10, Bubble once again leads with Hernandez and Hill this time side by side for second until Brendan Beal peeks to the inside going into turn number 1, making it 3 wide once again for second. Fellow Dodger Kyler Such tries also inside his picture as well, almost making it 4 wide into turn number 2 before backing off. But Johnny continues to maintain his ground on the outside down the back straight, still 3 wide as you go into turns 3 and 4. These 3 are still 3 wide for second, as only allowing Bubble to pull away from the rest of the field as there's movement basically everywhere in this pack. And the turn number 1 looks like this 3 wide situation has calmed down for now, with Hill tucked in the second and Beal side by side with Johnny for third. And once again, the driver knows the tail of Beal as the fellow Dodge of Kyle Such trying to 19, who of course is looking to rebound after finishing last in the Firecracker 400 and dropping 13 spots in points all the way down to 20th. On board of Brendan Beal, the one is he's now going to be side by side for second with Hill, as the both of them try to chase down the 18. Of course, Beal is a defending PSL champion trying to win his 2nd straight title in a row, but going into this race, he was 12th. Oh, Jordan Force is in the wall! Speaking of points, Jordan Force, of course, came to this race 2nd in points, only 7 back from Bubble, and similar to Keyshawn Richardson earlier, he's going to lose a lot of ground and a lot of points, so definitely a tough break for the 61. Anyways, back to the topic of Brendan Beal. Of course, he is the defending PSL champion, but really needs another top 5 or top 10 run here today to keep himself in this championship picture, as we're 3 wide through turns 3 and 4 with Johnny in the middle, Hill on the outside this time, and Wilson back to the inside in the 48. But here comes a strong run off of 4 for Brendan Beal as he's going to the inside of Bubble for the lead coming to lap number 14. And once again, Sushar is right behind Beal as now he's going to the inside the 37 into turn number 1, making it 3 wide for the lead. And it looks like Sushar is now going to make a mistake going into turn number 2, but Beal and Bubble remain side by side. It looks like off 2, Beal will clear Bubble for the lead. I mentioned just now, Beal needed a good run to keep himself himself inside the championship picture. But Bubble is not a driver to sleep on, as despite being a rookie, she races just as competitively as a veteran, as she's already now looking to the inside of Beal coming to lap number 15, as they're once again going to be side by side for the lead into turn number 1. And you see the lap car of Random J. I already mentioned just how slow he is. He's well off the pace. And already the leaders will have to deal with him off turn number 2 here. Looks like Beal and Sunshine go high, while Bubble and Johnny go low. But there's Patrick Miller on the outside, trying to figure out where he's going to go into turn number 3. As a contact between Miller and Voiles, as around goes Voiles in front of Alex Mullen and others. Dylan Matthews, Brandon Ream, Jack Cos, and others are involved as the caution's back out again. See the heavy front damage to Alex Mullen's car. I think Keisha Richardson was able to get through that. Heavy front end damage to Dylan Matthews' car. She's likely done for the day. As well as additional damage to Madison Chase and Philip Torres, who also got damaged during our first caution. As we'll expect, the leader at that time by was the 37 of Brendan Beal, followed by Kyle Sustrai and Bubble Pop in the 18. As it looks like everyone's coming down pit road this time by. Now, the official fuel and tire window is very similar to what it was at Las Vegas, right near or right around lap number 30 or so. But already 2 cautions, not even 20 laps in. Now it's definitely a decent time to get some new tires and top off on gas. Now, even though every driver and team is doing a full meal service of 4 tires and gas, it is important to know that none of these drivers will have enough to make it all the way, and these crew chiefs are hoping that there'll be more cautions by the end of this race, which will allow these drivers to save gas and make it all the way to the end of this race. But as for a race off pit road, Brendan Beal is first, followed by Kyle Sustrai, Bubble Pop, Johnny, and Matthew Hill round off the rest of the top 5. But anyways, let's take a look at the instant replay to see what caused our second caution already here today. So auto started coming off turn number 2. The 3 cars to watch on your screen is of course the lap car of Random J and the 2 lead lap drivers of Patrick Miller and Daniel Voiles. So Random moves to the outside, down the back straightaway, right in front of Miller, and Miller is trying to figure out where he's going to go, but instead comes down in front of Daniel Voiles, sends him spinning right in front of Alex Mullen, Dylan Matthews, with Mullen coming down right in front of Jack Haas, Madison Chase, Brad Ream going for a spin, and Philip Torres taking a rather violent hit into the wall, taking some up above. So you can see Random J holding up Patrick Miller. Miller trying to move down, but instead moves down right in front of Spurley, which results Miller getting turned by Spurley into Daniel Voiles, and sends the other one spinning right in front of Alex Mullen, who had absolutely nowhere to go. And then afterwards, Mullen comes down in front of Jack Haas, who clips Bradley Ream and Philip Torres, with both of them getting additional damage after already being involved in their first caution back at lap number 4. And now it's gone board of Alex Mullen. So at this point, Mullen knew Miller stuck behind Random, had to get down to the inside. Unfortunately, Staple is already there, and at that point, it was just too little too late. Absolutely nothing he could have done there. On board with Daniel Voiles. Yeah, all that just happened in a split second. But Voiles was minding his own business, and all of a sudden, Spurley and Miller made contact right in front of him. Anyways, we're already back into caution here in Paris for the 100th channel race. We'll be right back with you guys after this. Welcome back to the UPS Summer Special here in Paris for the 100th channel race. We're about to go back green after another caution right around here due turns 3 and 4, involving the lap car of Random J and Patrick Miller, the lead lap driver, trying to get around them, but instead it caused a pileup of Daniel Voiles, Alex Mullen, among several others. And you can see the rest of the damaged cars catching back up. Currently, 3 cars are 1 lap down to 53 of Random J and the 06 of Madison Chase, while 36 on down, swing with Dylan Matthews, are all out of the race. But anyways, as for your current top 3, the defending series champion Brendan Beal leads the way, followed by the 19 of Kyle Sustrai, and current points leader Bubble Pop at the 18, as we're back under green here in Paris. And once again, a great restart for the outside lane, this time with Kawasustrai trying to move down to the inside of front of Brendan Beal into turn number 1, as both the 19 and 37 have been basically nose to tail one another for pretty much the entire race. And it looks like it's going to continue off turn number 2 before Beal looks to the inside of the 19, as those are going to be side by side for the lead, continuing down the back and into turn number 3. Bubble now forced to the outside by Matthew Hill, as she's now going to be 3 wide for third with Nick Sant now on the inside. Bubble tried to move down that time by going into turn number 4, but she remains stuck on the outside. Still through with Matthew Hill and Nick Sant. There's contact between Hill and Nick Sant off of 4, but they managed to keep it straight coming to lap number 21 as Beal and Sushar remain side by side for the lead. And on the inside, you can see 2 other Dodge making a lap through the front, the 97 of Stapleton and the 9 of Lipsy, as the both of those two look for their second channel wins. But now into turn number 3, Beal is going to maintain the lead over Sushar. He's now going to be challenged by Matthew Hill for second, as those 2 red cars are going to be side by side through turns 3 and 4, with Johnny Hernandez also side by side of Bubble, that being for 4th as we come to lap number 22. And Matthew Hill continues that strong run to the inside, going into turn number 1, is now going to try to challenge Beal for the lead, trying to force Beal to the outside, looks like he will. Beal and Hill are going to be side by side down the back straightaway before Bubble forces Hill in the middle, as they're once again going to be 3 wide for the lead through turns 3 and 4. Johnny Hernandez also inside this mix, making it 3 wide for third as Beal continues to lose ground on the outside, coming to lap number 23 as Bubble goes back to the lead here at Paris. Now, of course, Bubble is no stranger going 3 wide in the corners of these 1.5 mile tracks, as she did the exact same thing at Las Vegas, which helped her win that race. And obviously, a win here today for the points leader would be absolutely massive, especially since her points rival Jordan Forbes is barely hanging on inside the top 20 after hitting the wall during the last green flag run. Matthew Hill's not going to go up this lead without a fight as do turns 1 and 2. Hill gets another strong run on the inside and is going to once again challenge Bubble for the lead off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Through turns 3 and 4, these two remain side by side before Johnny forces Hill to the middle as we were briefly 3 wide for the lead before Johnny backs off and loses ground, with Bubble also losing ground as she's now 3 wide for second, coming to lap number 25. Sushar going to move to second, or Hernandez is going to be side by side with Bubble for third, while Lipsy and Stapleton are going to be side by side for 6th behind Beal. But down the back straightaway, Hill is to the outside in front of Bubble, while Sushar maintains the inside into turns 3 and 4 as we're once again side by side for the lead, with Johnny continuing to maintain the inside, Bubble now towards the middle. 3 wide for 10th, a little further back with Anthony Hernandez on the inside, McTrain in the middle, and Ryan Wilson on the outside. But coming to lap number 26 is Kawasustrai back to the point here in Paris, as we're now on board with Johnny Hernandez into turn number 1. As he looks to get a strong run on the inside once again, looking to challenge Matthew Hill for second off turn number 2. And you saw it once again, there's the lap car of Random J. Last time the leaders caught up to Random J during the last green flag run. Random inadvertently caused the wreck. And I would imagine these leaders are kind of scared of approaching that 53 car. But now coming to lap number 27. Nick Sant once again peeking his nose to the inside, almost making it 4 wide into turn number 1 with Staple now stuck in the middle. But what's going to happen off of 2 is Hernandez and Sushar now side by side for the lead. Lipsy! Nick Sant made contact as they both go spinning alongside Nathan Stapleton. Ross McTrain also gets tagged at the last second as we're back under caution here in Paris. And even being outside the States, unfortunately Nick Sant's bad luck will continue. And the same could also be said for Lipsy in the 9 car. And potentially the same for Ross McTrain as well in the 45. Nathan Stapleton probably got the worst of that exchange as he has some pretty decent front end damage to his hood there as it's buckled up a little bit. Looks like that time by, Johnny Hernandez actually did get around Kawasustrai for the lead. With Bubble in the 18s back up to second, while Sustrai fell all the way down to third. But what's this? Johnny, Sustrai, Hill, Riley Spurley, among others, all coming down pit road. While it appears that Bubble, Ryan Wilson, and Anthony Hernandez are some of the notable drivers that are staying out. And let's see what the other drivers are going to do here as well. A lot of other drivers are coming down pit road as well. Caleb Rose, Keyshawn Richardson, Jordan Flores, among others. Now, if you remember during our last caution, the strategy was to save fuel in between the cautions as these crew chiefs were hoping that a lot of cautions were going to happen in this race. But for drivers like Johnny Hernandez, Matthew Hill, and Kawasustrai, They're having second thoughts, and these pit stops and these drivers right now coming out of pit road will have enough fuel to make it the rest of the race. And it looks like there's currently 8 lead lap drivers that will stay out during this caution, that being Bubble, Ryan, Anthony Hernandez, Brendan Carruthers, Beal, Miller, Albert, and Lipsy. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see if these drivers will have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way or not. But let's first take a look at the instant replay to see what caused our third caution here today. So all just started going into turns 1 and 2. Nick Sant was fast approaching on the inside as he nearly went 4 wide with Beal, Lipsy, and Stapleton. So again, Nick Sant got a very strong run to turns 1 and 2. Beal backs off on the outside, but then off 2, Staple makes contact with Nick Sant, sending him right in front of Lipsy, sending both those two around and into the wall of Staple, also going for a spin as well. With Ross McTrain trying to avoid, but gets tagged at the last second as he went for a spin towards the entrance of turn number 3. So taking notes from up above. So again, Nick Sant gets a strong run through turns 1 and 2 on the inside. Beal backs off, and then Staple, Lipsy nearly make contact there, but then off of turn number 2, there's just not enough room for these 3 drivers to race, with Staple getting into Nick Sant and Lipsy, with Staple himself also going around Riley Spurley getting some minor damage there, where Ross McTrain tries to avoid, but instead makes contact with Staple and sends him spinning as well. And now we're on board with Nathan Stapleton. And yeah, Staple essentially squeezed Nick Sant and Lipsy into one another, and even though you can go 3 wide at this track, at that particular point there was just not enough room there for all 3 of those drivers at once. On board with Anthony Hernandez, who was right behind all of this. Oh man, barely misses Staple and the inside wall. A great miss there for Hernandez. But anyways, we're back under caution here in Paris for the 100th channel race. Welcome back to the UPS Summer Special here in the Paris circuit. Of course, for the 100th channel race. We're about to go back green after our third caution of the day involved the 9 of Lipsy, the 40 of Nick Sant, the 45 of Ross McTrain, and the 97 of Nathan Stapleton. However, this time around, nobody else will go to the garage area, and all 4 of those drivers that I mentioned will continue the rest of this race. Now, as for drivers 1st through 8th, they will have to save fuel, assuming if there's no other cautions that will come out. While drivers 9th on down, starting with Johnny Hernandez, all came down pit road during the last caution and have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see which strategy will prevail. But as the field comes to lap number 32 to the restart, it's time for a very special edition of Palm Summer League Crank It Up here in the 100th channel race. is lap number 39 of 52 here in Paris for the 100th channel race. Currently it's a BM Racing top 2. Bubble Pop first, and her teammate Brandon Carruthers in second, as they're once again approaching the lap car of Random J, coming to lap number 40. Meanwhile, a little further behind, Ryan Wilson and Anthony Hernandez are going to be side by side for third, going into turn number 1. As here's Carruthers now peeking the inside of Bubble, as those two teammates are going to be side by side for the lead of Random, now fast approaching, going into turn number 2. Oh! Random puts Bubble in the wall as she tries to get around him. And you can see there's a lot of damage on both the left and right side of your point leader. I have a bad feeling that damage on Bubble is bad enough to seriously impact her car, as she went from first all the way down to third. And just managed a few laps. Random J still getting passed by some of these other lead lap drivers here on lap number 41. So the inside one by Sustrive, Rose, and Hill getting around. Patrick Miller trying to get around once again, almost reminiscent of what happened during our second caution. Brad Ream was briefly through out of Random there. But perhaps no leader was impacted most by Random than Bubble just now, as she continues to his ground, and she's currently now side by side with Johnny Hernandez from 4, with Hernandez clearing the 18 car into turn number 4. But as for Bubble's teammate Brandon Carruthers, who come to lead lap number 41, as you got a replay on the right side of your screen. So Bubble and Roberto racing for the lead through turns 1 and 2, but then here comes Random in the middle, moving up the track right in front of Bubble, who was not clear at all, shows her into the wall. And honestly, I have no idea what Random is thinking. I understand he's trying to salvage as much points as he possibly can, but as a lap driver, you have to avoid the leaders as much as you can, especially in the case of Bubble, where she's not only racing for the lead, but also for a championship. And now she gets passed by her point rival, Jordan Forbes. Bubble is going to lose points over to 61, so that one moment right there between Bubble and Random is certainly going to change the entire course of this championship going into our season finale next month. Anyways, as we come to 10 laps to go, let's take a look at some drivers throughout the field. Jason Albert's in 9th. Keith Sharonson, despite hitting the wall earlier in this race, is in 10th. Behind him is Riley Spurley in 11th. And how about a solid rebound for Ross McTrain, who's currently in 12th, side by side of Kyle Sushai for that position. Of course, McTrain was involved during the last caution. Didn't get really any damage at all, just went for a spin, but definitely did lose a lot of ground. You see Caleb Rose, who was in the top 10 earlier, down to 14th, while pole sitter Matthew Hill is in 15th. Meanwhile, Brad Ream, Alex Santavallo, two drivers are involved in our first caution back at lap number 4. They're currently 16th and 17th respectively, while Patrick Miller, who got held by Random twice, is currently in 18th. Jack Austin, 19th, did get damaged during our second caution today, while his teammate Joe T in 20th also got damaged during our first caution today in lap number 4. While both Nixon and Lipsy got damaged during our latest caution, they're running 21st and 22nd respectively. Jordan Stout, who got damaged during our first caution, is in 23rd, while the two NS Racing teammates of Dan Mattiello and Nathan Stapleton are 24th and 25th respectively. Meanwhile, both Alex Small and Daniel Voiles got damaged during our second caution. They're running 26th and 27th respectively. While Callan Baker in 28th is currently the last car on the lead lap, while both Philip Torres and Madison Chase are 1 lap down. And of course, Random J is now 3 laps down, all the way back in 31st. But back up front as we come to lap number 46, Brandon Carruthers still leads, Ryan Wilson still second, Anthony Hernandez in third, with his father Johnny fast approaching on the inside going into turn number 1. And if you remember during our last caution, Johnny came down pit road to top off on fuel. None of these drivers in front of him have enough fuel to make it the entire way, so Johnny's in a great spot when it comes to gas. But as for Brandon Carruthers, Ryan Wilson, and Anthony Hernandez, they all have to save fuel to make it the rest of the way. And the same could also be said for Brendan Beal in the 37, as he also stayed out during that last caution. While both Roberto Crown and Jordan Forbes, who also came down pit road with Johnny during that last caution, can also make it the entire way. Jason Albert, a little further back, was another driver that stayed out during the last caution. He has to save fuel. Keisha Richardson's going to fuel. Same thing with Riley Spurley. And there you see Bubble continue to lose ground in the 18. She's currently last scored in 11th, currently side by side of Ross McTrain for that position. And yeah, when Random forced up to the wall, it damaged something inside that 18. And she's been losing ground ever since. And speaking of lap cars, we're about to catch up to 2 of them, with the leaders fast approaching on both Philip Torres and Madison Chase as we come to lap number 48. Only 6 laps to go here in Paris, with Ryan Wilson now looking to the inside of Brado going into turn number 1. Ryan tries to make a stick on the inside, but Carruthers maintains his ground. But here comes Hernandez fast approaching on Wilson, as those two can be side by side for second into turns 3 and 4. And there you see Anthony's father, Johnny, tucking right behind his son on the inside. But Ryan maintains his ground on the outside and will maintain second place over Anthony as we come off turn number 4 to 5 laps to go. And now we'll come to lap cars with Torres and Chase as they both move down to the inside in front of Carruthers going into turn number 2. But Carruthers maintains the inside, trying to move him up the track off of turn number 2. It looks like both lap drivers will move up to the outside, where both Ryan and Anthony move down the inside behind Carruthers into 3. So Carruthers is down pit road. course, Brendan Carruthers was one of those drivers that did stay out during the last caution and was trying to save fuel. But unfortunately, that strategy did not work out to his favor. But back up front, here's Johnny Hernandez side by side with Wilson for the lead. Coming to 3 laps to go. With Johnny moving down to the inside, making it 3 wide with him in the lap cars. But oh, we got another lap car coming. That's Random J once again. What's Johnny going to do here? Off for turn number 2. He's 6 to the inside, forcing Random to the outside. With Ryan right behind him in the 48. And just to reiterate, Johnny is good on fuel. Ryan is not. But with Ryan right behind Johnny, I would imagine he could throw fuel strategy out the window for a chance to win this race. As you see, Brendan Beals now down pit road. And right there, another big name driver tried the fuel strategy saving game, but was not able to work out as you approach 2 laps to go this time by. You see back there, Random continuing to hold up the rest of the field as you come off turn number 2 for the second to last time. Last time by, the gap between Ryan and Johnny was just a little under 0.2 of a second. So this race is still far from over. Ryan still has a chance to catch up to Johnny, but that chance is quicker running out. As this time by, we see the white flag. Only 1 lap to go here in Paris for the 100th channel race. Last time by, Ryan was able to close that gap just slightly. Now just a 1/10.5 separates those 2 drivers. But is it going to be enough as Ryan continues to get a strong run off for turn number 2 for the final time? He's going to have one more chance here to turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Ryan still with Johnny, now peeking his nose to the inside, the 46 and the 4. But it's not going to be enough off of 4 as Johnny Hernandez will see the checkered flag and win the 100th channel race here in Paris. And for the first time in nearly 3 long years, Johnny and Hernandez Racing finally win a full points-paying race here on the channel. And it comes in the 100th channel race, so definitely a big congratulations to Johnny and the rest of that team. And now let's take a look at the move of the race that ultimately got Johnny the win here today. So this was on lap number 49. Johnny at this point was in 4th. Then Carruthers comes out pit road, slows down the rest of the leaders, was at 1.3 wide with his son Anthony Hernandez and Brendan Beal. And now in the 4, he's side by side of Ryan Wilson for the lead. And then coming to lap number 50, Johnny clears Ryan for the lead. And then immediately dives out to the inside, going into turn number 1, making it 3 wide with him in the lap cars of both Philip Torres and Madison Chase. And then off of 2, here comes Random once again. He moves to the outside in front of Torres. Johnny maintains the inside and was able to maintain the lead the rest of the way. Now let's take a look at the Bubble and Random J incident back at lap number 40 again. So you see Carruthers and Bubble side by side for the lead. And then they notice Random fast approaching off 2. Carruthers dives down low, while Bubble maintains the outside, but little did she know, Random also was going to go high and was not clear of Bubble, shoved her into the wall, causing major damage to her car, and that damage ultimately ended any chances of Bubble winning here today. Now as for the driver who did win here today, it's of course none other than Johnny Hernandez and Hernandez Racing. Definitely a big congratulations once again to that team, as this will mark the first time that team has won a full-on points-paying race since the 2021 Bristol Night Race back in the Golf Summer Series. But anyways, let's take a look at the finishing results and point standings after today's race. So here we go. Of course, Johnny Hernandez wins the 2024 UPS Summer Special. As previously mentioned, this is Hernandez Racing and Johnny's first channel wins in nearly 3 years, as well as Hernandez Racing and Johnny's first ever wins in a full points-paying PSL race. Meanwhile, Ryan Wilson comes up just short, finishing 2nd. And I'm kind of surprised he had enough fuel to make it all the way of how hard he was pushing to get around Hernandez. Meanwhile, Anthony Hernandez finishes 3rd, a very solid run for him. He was definitely trying to save towards the end of that race, as he was nearly 1.5 behind your top 2. And how about a good rebound for Ross McTrain in the 45? Of course, was involved in that 3rd caution. Didn't get any damage, but it put him towards the back of the pack. But he was able to rebound with a solid top 5 finish. Another good day for Roberto Crown as he finishes 5th in the 31. Well, speaking of good rebounds, how about a good rebound for Jordan Flores and Keyshawn Richardson? Both those drivers hit the wall earlier in the race, lost a lot of ground on the outside, but both of them managed to recover and get solid top 10 finishes, which is definitely very important for Forbes, especially with Bubble having her issue late in the race. Meanwhile, the pole sitter Matthew Hill gets a respectable 8th place finish, while Riley Spurlock gets another top 10 finish, finishing 9th. And to round off the rest of the top 10 is Alex Santavella. He was, of course, involved during our very first caution, lap number 4, got pretty decent damage to his car, but felt from all the lap car chaos as well as the drivers coming up pit road as they ran out of gas. The driver that came in this race inside the top 5 in points will salvage at least a decent points day. And that's for 11th through 20th. Caleb Rose was inside the top 5, not the top 10 for much of the day, but unfortunately fell back to 11th, still by far his best finish of the year. We know his teammate Bradley Ream in 12th is another driver who was involved in multiple cautions today, And there you see Bubble finishing 13th. She led the most laps here today. She, again, probably had the best car out of anyone here today. But, of course, that contact from Random J killed any chances of her winning this race. And even though she was one of those drivers that did stay out and was trying to save fuel, she would have probably had at least a top 5, if not a top 10 day, if she managed her fuel strategy right. But, again, the incident with Random definitely changed the entire course of the race for the 18 team. Meanwhile, Kyle Sushari, who was up front much like Rose and Bubble earlier in this race, ends up with a rather disappointing 15th place finish. And the part that really sucks too is that Sushari did have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way, and he probably would have had a top 10 finish, but again, the lap traffic did not play into a lot of these drivers' favors here today. And as for the drivers 16th through 20th, see Joe T, Nick Sant, Jordan Stout, Matt T.O., and Stapleton were all involved in at least one of the cautions here today, but were able to somehow salvage finishes inside the top 20. And as for 21st through 30th, see Alex Mullen, the other drivers that got damaged in at least one of the wrecks, Alex Mullen, Daniel Voiles, and Kellen Baker, making up 21st, 22nd, and 23rd respectively. And as for 24th through 28th, of course, those are all the drivers who tried to gamble and stay out to make it the rest of the way. But unfortunately, it was not able to work out for them. They had to all come down pit road. Brendan Carruthers in 24th, he was in the lead very late into this race, but unfortunately, didn't have enough fuel to make it. Brendan Beal in 25th was looking for a good point stay to defend his championship, but he's not gonna get that here today, sadly. Well, Albert, Miller, and Lipsy also all back here as well. One lap down, they ran out of gas before the end of this race and had to come down pit road. Or both Madison Chase and Phil Torres ended up finishing this race 2 laps down. And as for 31st to 35th, see Random J 4 laps down was the last car on track. Suffice to say, he definitely did cause issues for some of these leaders, and I would imagine Bubble isn't too happy with the driver to 53 for potentially ruining her chances of winning the championship this summer. Well, 32nd on down, starting with Dylan Matthews, all went to the garage area after being involved in major wrecks. Now for the point standings after race number 5, heading into our final race next month at Minnesota. And even though Bubble still maintains a point lead with 179 points, Forbes is still in second, now only behind by 2 points. And with Bubble winning the most laps today, that definitely helped her out at least somewhat. If Bubble didn't get that bonus point of winning the most laps, she should only be leading by 1 point. That contact with Random J to send her into the wall definitely destroyed, again, a potential top 5, top 10 day. If Bubble got at least the top 10, she would have probably kept that gap over Forbes the same going into this race. The gap between the top 2 was 7 points. But if you're Bubble and Forbes, I won't look away from 3rd place of Riley Spurley, only behind by 9 points. He's very much inside the championship conversation. And if something happens to Bubble and or Forbes at Minnesota, Spurley's in a great position to take advantage and get the championship for himself. Meanwhile, we got a 3-way tie for Forbes between Roberto Crown, Anthony Hernandez, and Alex Dentavalla. Crown currently has a tiebreaker over all of them due to his 3 top 5s versus Hernandez's 2 top 5s and Dentavalla's 1 top 5. Meanwhile, in 7th is Matthew Hill, is back inside the top 10 in points, behind by 25. Ryan Wilson making his first appearance inside the top 10 in points this summer, behind by 27. And how about Johnny Hernandez up to 9th in the point standings? And just a reminder, at one point this year, Johnny was as low as 34th in points. The season almost looked dead to right, but what a difference a month can make for that team. They've been absolutely on it since race number 3. And even if Johnny doesn't win the championship, if Johnny can just get a top 10 in the point standing, top 10 finish in the point standings this year, it'd be a major win in my books, especially from where that team came from. Not even a month, barely even a month ago. And finally, to round off the rest of the top 10 is a 45er Ross McTrain. He's had an absolute roller coaster of a season. I mean, after the Firecracker 400, he was all the way back in 24th in points, but now, after a solid run here today, he's back into the top 10 in points, behind by 36 points. Now, of course, these drivers inside the top 10 in points, particularly 1st through 6th, have the most realistic shot of winning the championship. However, drivers 1st all the way down to 19th all have a mathematical shot of winning the championship. So this championship is still far from over, and at this point, it is still anyone's game. Before I sign off here today, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for helping me reaching this milestone of 100 NR2003 races on this channel. When I started making NR races a little over 4 years ago, I only really expected to do a single season with maybe a handful of notable drivers and moments. But now, we've not only had 100 races, but also incredible moments and memories, in addition to the wide variety of tracks, mods, and of course drivers from different backgrounds, both past and present. And lastly, there's you, the viewer that continues to support and watch these races no matter what, when, or where. And believe me, these races are very, very time consuming to make. Of course, the summer is not quite over just yet, as next month the Palm Summer League will return to the Minnesota Motorsports Park for the second ever T-Mobile Summer Finale, which will of course decide the second ever Palm Summer League champion. But once again, thank you to everyone for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all next time.